Niall, my good friend here, Matt Miller, is incredibly intelligent, but has a really hard time getting things done. What would you? What
I
would
procrastinate.
Be your,
I'm a little
your
bit ADD.
prescription?
I bounce back and forth from stuff to stuff.
I think the biggest
What's
thing,
your prescription?
Well, there's a lot of lessons in the book, but one of them is not being scared of failure, taking more risks. So I think in life, like, we all have this sort of pathway that we're pushed down, from college to being in the workforce to then getting married and having a house. So it's all about taking more risks and thinking about life a little bit differently and hacking together a different way through your life.
You have an interesting life. Tell us a little bit about you. Were a celebrity chef for billionaires.
Yeah, so I'm 34. I probably look a lot older, but I've cooked for billionaires. So I travelled all over the world. I cooked Bill Gates' 50th birthday. Literally lived the life of a billionaire until I was about 27.
How did you land that gig?
Bit of luck of the Irish and just charming our way in there. So I just went down to the south of France, and they have yachts down there, and sort of worked my way up. So it's. At the same time, all my friends were going off and getting on the career ladder and, you know, getting secure jobs and trying to sort themselves out financially. So, again, it was going away from the norm and taking risks.
So all about risk.
There's one. I read the book, really quick read. I read it yesterday and this morning. There's one part of the book that I want to bring up to that point. Maybe we can put up the graphic of the line here.
Yeah.
So it says, we're often told that women have a biological clock, but surely it doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, well, but doesn't it? We can't really wish away a biological clock, right? So how do you get off that path? Maybe for you, you can say, I'm not going to get married until 40, which is one of the things you say in the book. Is it different for men and women?
I mean, look, biologically it kind of is, but at the same time, I think certainly in Ireland and Europe, people just tend to get married at 26, 27, and it's not a bad thing. It just kind of pigeonholes you into a certain type of life. So I might get married at 40 and leave it as long as possible, but it's not just getting married. It's like when you travel. So, like, a lot of people finish college, they might take a year off and go and travel the world. Everybody says it's the best year of their life. You know, why would you not extend that and start working a little bit later at 27, 28 instead of jumping in? Because what I see is loads of people who get to 30 and they actually hate their job, and, you know, like, they might go back and start again or retrain. So I think we're just under too much pressure, and a lot of our decisions are financial based, and they shouldn't be.
But why not? I mean, at the end of the day, I want to be able to pay my bills. I got to pay rent. Even if I was just traveling, I'd still have to buy stuff. I mean, was there something in your upbringing that afforded you a certain luxury to not have to think that way?
Not necessarily. I mean, one of the things I talk about in the book is, like, different hacks. So I live in Dublin, which, like New York, is pretty expensive for real estate, and I have a house, which I want to have a house and give myself the security, but I'll rent it for 2 weeks on Airbnb. So just rent the entire house, and then I'll go and work somewhere cheaper. So I might go to Thailand, or I might go to Italy, or somewhere that's cheap. We've all got laptops and smartphones, and you can work remotely. So I'll actually work better being in a cheaper country, and I actually, in effect, get paid to go on holidays, because there's, like, arbitrage there. It's cheaper to live there than it is in Ireland. So there's little hacks like that in the book that, yes, you can still build your career and have your progression, but hack it around.
I may pitch that to our head of television.
You still need money to buy the house to begin with, though. But
you know, there's a lot of issues I have just with sheer laziness and procrastination. And you obviously are the kind of person that's just driven towards success. Now, you can say maybe you decided to go down to the south of France and kind of chill out, and you weren't so worried about. But you're obviously driven, right?
Yes, but it's not just driven. It's the big thing is taking more risk and not being scared of failure. Coming to America is pretty refreshing, because you guys sort of embrace failure, and it's not the end of the world. A lot of other countries, and I think that's some of the reasons why you have so much success, but failure is quite frowned upon in a lot of places.
By the way, didn't you just randomly set up a trip here and
your book tour? Tell us about the book tour. It's a very unorthodox book tour.
So normally a book tour, your publisher says, like, look, let's go to a few cities across America, and we'll sit down and we'll read it to journalists and stuff, and, like, that's cool, but there's thousands of books there, so we try and do things differently. So it's social media. We just arrived in Washington. We'd no plan, and we visited LA, Vegas, Los Angeles. We ended up here, like, we'd no plan to be on this show, but it just kind of happened a week ago. So
we wanted to be on the Daily Show. Has that happened yet?
They're on vacation this week, so they kind of want us to come on, but we might have to come back. So that's not the end of the world.
One of the things you talk about in the book, though, is that there's no such thing as luck, right? You make your own luck.
Yeah.
But you also tell a story about trying to sell your company almost not being able to make payroll and then having a payment come in on the second to last day. So isn't there some element of luck involved here?
There is, but if you work hard enough and you take enough risks, the luck will fall in your direction in the long way. Like the reason I talk about luck is it's aimed at people who are sitting there playing the lottery every week and, moaning.
You're not going to.
That's different,
no,
yeah.
It's kind of a tax on the stupid.